Hello. I was just about to start refoaming some of these woofers on this rs-iiib speaker that I just purchased. Uh, Got a good deal on them, but as usual, they need some work. Just kind of wanted to go over and talk about some of the stuff that I've noticed and seen with multiple speaker refurbishes. So with these, they have the 10-inch woofer. And in most cases, in this case in particular, I've seen a couple of times where the seller will say they're professionally refoamed. That's kind of a warning flag for me. I prefer to get them without any kind of work previously done on them. Just makes it a lot easier for some reason. But the professional refoams, in my opinion, I'm not sure if it's just a marketing thing or if it's actually a professional doing this sort of work. But just kind of wanted to go over real quick what I'm seeing. For this first one here, it actually is pretty good. I mean, it's probably the only one that I would say was acceptable. A couple things I noticed was for some reason they flipped this trim piece around. But the easiest way to see if they're okay, the first thing is to check the impedance. All these were good. I think they're probably in the 3.7, 3.8 ohm range, checking them. But if you actuate the center of it, you don't hear anything. And that's what you want. You want that resistance, but you also don't want to hear any scraping. So if you kind of come back a little bit, I can get some out here. But a little bit further in, nothing. Same. This is kind of a good way to check them, is to kind of go around and you can kind of tell at what point how well they're centered. For this one, it wasn't too bad. I can actually actuate the center and not get that rubbing. However, it's just very slightly off where I start feeling the scrape. The other thing, it's surprising that this was advertised as a professional work, is all this over, I don't know, the glue is just a mess. I went ahead and pulled off the trim piece on this one, but this one I would have redone anyway. Also noticed kind of some looseness here. But when I played these, they didn't sound too bad. This one looks decent. A little bit of glue they didn't clean up. Overall, they got the trim piece back on the right way. But when you press dead center on these, I mean, I'm hearing scraping right away. I'm surprised I didn't hear as much of this when I was playing them, but I didn't take them up to high levels. I didn't want to hurt the voice coil. This one I started tearing apart already. It was pretty bad too. I just took the foam off. I haven't scraped it or cleaned it up yet, but just a way to check it real quick. I can by hand find a spot and actuate it. And not get that scraping. Another good check is to kind of, just feel back and forth. Is that voice coil still seem like it's, oval round, and you're able to get it parallel with the post. These were the speakers. I guess I showed you. They're real great shape for their age. These are 80s speakers. The cabinet's great. The tweeter's great. The mid-range is in good shape. These are actually all original. So other than the foams that were done, but you see the spiders there. This is the original cover. All the epoxy looks right. The wiring is good. This one did have a cracked, I guess, the connection terminal, but I can glue it back together. It's no big deal. But the magnets are, good, which is original. That's the right number. So very happy with this purchase, but I do have to do some work. The reason I kind of want to make this video is to give you a little warning. These were voice coils I had to pull off of a similar speaker, which is the rs-iiib. These, again, I got them at a great price, but when I got them, I knew something was wrong, at least on one of these, and I figured I could fix it. But in this case, I had to fix them all. And this is kind of, you can find speakers and think they're all good and you can fix them. It's just a foam, but in some cases, the previous owner of this set of speakers really played them with the foams gone, and the voice coil just disintegrated. And you can see it's very, very fragile, very thin, and when this thing starts rubbing on that post, it's going to go. So a lot more work here compared to a refoam. Just wanted to show you this one real quick. I thought 3 of them were good, but they were kind of in this condition to where they were obviously rubbing, and I had trouble centering them, and that was why, as they were already kind of crushed a little bit, and it was difficult to get that centered on the post, and there's very little clearance. So even when I tried to refoam them the first time, they didn't do up to my expectations, and I had to pull foams and redo them again with the new spider and new voice coil. And the voice coils aren't easy to find. That was a search on eBay in China. So just kind of, I think that's kind of what I wanted to cover on these. I'll go ahead and maybe make another video after they're done. But those are some of the things I just wanted to point out with this, is you can buy a speaker at a good deal. I think you've got something professional, refoam, professional work. In my experience, I haven't had good experience with it. I would shoot for something that has never been touched before, and then if you're able to fix it, that's good, but if you're not able to fix it, it's kind of a buyer beware situation. All right, that's all I got.